Y'all heard about the Purple Revolution? I've been on a tirade all day today, and I heard there was a Purple Revolution, a group of MAGA people who have begun to see the light and see that MAGA way is not the way. They begin to burn their red hats, and they have some grand idea that they would just come back over here and join forces with us and declare and form a peaceful revolution. Get how racist and hateful you were? Did you forget that you voted against your own self-interest in order to harm Black and brown people? Purple revolution, because we don't trust you. We understand as soon as things cool down for you and you don't feel as threatened, you feel safe and secure, you'll go back to your nasty, ugly, racist ways. And there will be no revolution, because there cannot be a revolution without Black people. And we are not getting out there with you all to protest anything. We've made it very clear. We have no desire to join forces with you.
Do not trust that Purple Revolution bull at all. If the Purple Revolution ain't led by Prince himself, do not trust it. I smell a mean double cross coming. A mean double cross coming. No. For my professional wrestling girlies, you will understand this reference. The Purple Revolution is giving very much when Shawn Michaels decides to turn heel, and he gives you that random ass sweet chin music to start his heel turn. It's giving that.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren.
And I'm Maureen. I don't know how many of you guys have heard about the Purple Movement. This was a movement that was started by a white MAGA man, or as he liked to refer to himself, a reformed or former white MAGA man.
Right. After he came out to call people for his Purple Revolution, people came out, of course, Black Americans in huge numbers and other group of people, and they explicitly refused to join his cause, right? And after this is when his true colors were coming out.
Right. And he just proved to Black Americans why Black Americans insist on staying out of stuff like this and not joining any type of group when they want to go out to protest or do anything else against the government.
Right. So guys, what are we talking about? Let's watch the videos we prepared for you and the response Black Americans had for him, and then we come back and talk about it. You can let us know your thoughts and opinion on the comment section. Also consider subscribing if it's your first time here. Let's watch.
If she is blocking every creator of color, especially Black women who are trying to teach her something, she's not ready for a revolution. When white women like Friendly Honey Badger block Black women or creators of color for us simply explaining why we do not want to join forces and align ourselves with restoring old America man, that right there tells you everything. And now she's on her platform telling her followers that she was bullied, that she was yelled at.
Black Americans do not fall for this Purple Revolution bullshit, because let me point something out to you. They're talking about taking race wing Republicans and putting them in with race white liberals. Black Americans, you remember the LA City Council? That's your white liberal. You remember this freaking Chicago PD, LA PD, NYPD, how they ain't fixed none of that shit, but when they got Joe Biden, they freaking said, hey, we shouldn't defund the police, we should fund the police. The same people on both sides who had kids in goddamn cages. Yeah, same people on both sides. So basically, they want to double up on their racism. They need you in the mix, because when they are done fighting each other, they gonna turn and look at you, Black people. Fuck the purple revolution. No, if you want a revolution, let's have a Black revolution. Don't you fall for their bullshit political tricks. Be a political free agent. Fuck these people. Seriously.
To anyone who is upset at people who are not falling for the Purple Revolution and who are saying that we are actively slapping down people who want unity, you want a direction, you want to know what it is we should do or what you should do, because it will not be us, it will be you. Here is your direction. Number 1, revolution begins with accountability. If you are still surrounded with people who think racism, homophobia, transphobia, xenophobia, misogyny are petty differences, then you are not ready for revolution. You are still protecting the oppressor. Go deal with that first. Oh, I know you think you don't have time. Baby, this is something you should have done long ago. The fact that we don't have time is not our fault. It's yours. Number 2, stop asking marginalized folks to build your moral backbones. Black folk, queer folk, indigenous folk, we've been fighting for people's rights while everybody else was comfortable. If you want real change, start organizing your people who have been complicit. Talk to them, not us, because they'll hear you before they listen to us. Obviously. Number 3, put your body where your outrage is. We have marched, voted, bled, and built movements. And if y'all feel like the system is collapsing, good. Now use that anger to shut down your own privilege pipelines.
Oh, here you go, left. You want some more examples about what your people are out there doing and making the face of your party look like? Because you're too afraid to hold them accountable for what they do? Aren't you worried about holding the right accountable for what they do? Y'all get your feelings hurt by 4 numbers of the year 1776. Those 4 numbers hurt your feelings. Okay? I misspoke saying naysayers. Now there's all a bunch of you people out there saying that I tried saying the N-word. That's how sad y'all are. Y'all are some fucking crazy-ass lunatics, bro. You find everything and anything to pick apart that people say to complain about. Y'all are the most complaining, pussy-ass people I've ever met in my life. Every shirt I wear, there's something wrong with it. Every word I say, there's something wrong with it. And you motherfuckers think that you're in a position to fucking win a war. When words hurt your feelings, y'all are the biggest bitches. The biggest bitches. Here, I'll reiterate it. I'm a neutral party. I am not on the right. Am I saying that loud enough for everybody out there to hear that wants to keep saying, oh, I'm MAGA. Oh, you're MAGA. It's coming back out of you. No, this is me, a pissed off dude. Okay? Because I'm sick and tired of watching you people be a bunch of fucking retards. And care so much about your personal self-righteousness. You gotta apologize to me. You hurt my feelings 10 years ago. Oh, your vote hurt my feelings. Oh, this hurts my feelings. You're a bunch of fucking pussies. Pussies. I will never fight for you.
I just hope that white people are seeing how quickly this purple revolution is devolving and will finally leave us Negroes the hell alone when we tell y'all that we are not reconciling with people who want us unalived. It took this fool less than a week to show his true colors. That fool changed his name to Restoring Old America. What, pray tell, do you think he means by restoring old America? And you want black people to put the past aside, to forget that these people voted for our demise and work with them? I'm glad you guys are getting to see in real time what we experience all the goddamn time.
Restoring Old America. Boy, that didn't take long. If you haven't seen by now, Mr. Purple Revolution, he's hurt. He's hurt by the fact that people don't want to join that movement. That movement that we all said wouldn't last a week. That movement that was not based in taking any real accountability for what you contributed to our society getting to where it is. That movement that everybody could clearly see was not made up of anybody who was really trying to make a difference in this country. It was only made up of people who did not want to outright admit they were wrong and do not want to change their behavior, their way of thinking, anything.
Purple Revolution Man changed his name to Restoring Old America, and now the truth is out. Just like I told y'all in the beginning, this man has not left the right. He is the right. What he was doing was simply peeking his head out of the door to let us know, hey, these people have guns and they blow shit up for fun, and y'all might want to come and join forces with us. Because the whole point was not that they needed voices, it's that they needed expendable bodies. They needed shields of war. They needed manpower, so that they could overthrow the government that they voted in, the system that they have protected and still do protect. But now that it's not doing what they wanted it to do, which is protect them and fuck the rest of us over, now they want our labor to help them get it back to the way they want, i.e. restoring old America.
So I'm going to talk about Purple Revolution specifically because I see a lot of y'all jumping down knitting Cult Lady's throat for her take about this. Now, if you're new here, one of the topics I used to talk about a lot is my experiences living in a homeless shelter. And one of my roommates was an ex-Klans member. And I was kind of forced into being part of this young man's de-radicalization process. And it gave me a very interesting peek into all of the different moving pieces that need to come together to fight against some of the most heinous and extreme forms of white supremacy, in the sense of how do we get people out of organized hate groups. And it's a shitty, ugly process that most of y'all can't stomach and don't want any part of. This is why I don't take the people who say, I'm not going to vote because we need a revolution seriously, because I know what the actual work is that needs to be done. And most of y'all don't have the balls to fucking do it. Let's be honest. Now, this video is not me endorsing the Purple Revolution. Quite the opposite. I think y'all are fucking around with some fire, with some very dangerous shit that you don't understand. And most people who go into this space are going to come out radicalized more in favor of Trump and MAGA conservative Republican shit than they are in favor of actual leftist, anti-racist, socialist, communist type values.
So this Purple Revolution is really just these moderates and these centrists. It's their latest attempt to create an escape route for these fucking maggots who now are looking for a way to run from the monster that they created. These moderates and these centrists expect us who live on the left side of humanity, okay, to just back on up. Give these maggots a plot. Give them some space so they can set up, hand them a megaphone so they can amplify their political voices. They want us to do that with no expectation of them atoning or deconstructing the harmful ideologies that they have that got us all in this position. It's political colonization. I think the fuck not. Right now, what we really have, those of us that live on the left side of humanity, is an opportunity to move this country to the left.
Okay, so I wanted to share my thoughts about this whole Purple Revolution shit while I am in the middle of filming and I look cute. So here we go. So here's the thing, you guys. I have been alive long enough to remember a lot of things. And one of the most consistent things through each stage, through every stage, frankly, is it's never been the right time to talk about policy as it applies to my specific civil rights. It's crazy because it seems like there's just always a scenario where we need to put aside my civil rights so that we can fight for power. And that is kind of what you guys are talking about over here. Look, I was raised in a predominantly conservative community. I've lived in predominantly conservative communities. I can entertain the premise that not every Republican, not every MAGA is a crazy racist Nazi. That is a harder and harder thing for me to entertain after this current administration. Largely because they're literally doing all the things that they said they would do, and you didn't believe us. You know, you really did not believe us. And look, I definitely think that there is something to be said about being unwelcoming to people who are trying to change. But you guys aren't really trying to change. You want the numbers. And this is what it always comes down to every single time. Purple Revolution people are mostly white people who are MAGA, who don't want to be associated with MAGA anymore, who want to move on. But many of them struggle to comprehend that some of us are fighting for our survival. And that supporting you in this indifference to our civil rights may very well conclude in us losing our lives. And some of you think that that's like a silly little argument, some stupid little identity politics bullshit, right? Not even understanding that you are being duped by the system that you are claiming to want to deconstruct, right? Is racism a distraction? Yes. Is transphobia a distraction? Yes. I think I saw something recently where the polls came back finally for how many people are opting out of LGBT education. And it was something like less than 1%, right? These things are not popular, but a lot of you choose to be indifferent to the rights of the LGBT, to be indifferent to the rights of queer folks, so that you can gain power, and really so that you can suck up to conservatives. And this is the thing that I wanted to say. Some of you guys, you are fixated on conservatives because you come from a family of them. You come from a family of conservatives and you want to make space for them. And I am happy that you feel that way. I think, however, that you need to maybe go over there and do some work. Do the same exact shit that we've been saying you should do from day one. Work with your people.
So guys, welcome back. Let us know what you think about this episode in the comment section. Just when you think some people deserve a second chance, but let me just say this, right? Black Americans have lived alongside white people enough for them to know whether or not
genuine and who is not genuine. Because the biggest thing I got from the internet regarding this topic was the issue of trust and how it has been broken before. Because most Black Americans were expressing themselves and they were saying, we have been beaten more times than one for us to know that it is finally time for us to mean it when we say we are staying out of things like this.
Right, and it didn't even take him long enough. A week was all it took for him to get angry and change his name to make what? He said what?
Restore America back to its state. Something like that.
That is still MAGA blood, and that is still MAGA racism. Because for him, those statements might mean a time that America was really great for them, but does it mean a time that it was great for other people of,
color? Because we've often said this a lot. Make America great again does not mean the same thing when it cuts across different races. It might mean something different from from a white person's lens compared to what it means from a Black person's lens, And Black Americans were feeling like, what is to assure us that if we join in your cause and then we successfully make the government work for the people, what guarantee does Black America have that they won't be backstabbed again? And the biggest and perfect example I would say as a person looking into this situation is here in Africa, American campaigns were happening in the November period and during and nearly the election period. Africa, we couldn't sleep because our FYP was filled with a lot of American content, right? And it was of Black people, white people, Asian people, everybody synchronically speaking one language that they would make let me not use those words. They would make the best choice in protecting everybody's rights,
but
right?
You also have to keep in mind the best choice. When someone comes out to make the best choice, my best choice might not look the same as your best choice, right?
That is exactly correct. But it is in the devious way in which other people made Black Americans believe they were working together towards a common goal that was
I do understand why those a good number who meant what they said and they came out like the Latinos. I just have to bring it back, They were out there campaigning for I will vote for Donald Trump,
Anyway, today's not about the Latinos. They've had quite a share of FAFO season,
They need to
Right
rest.
now, I feel like white America is having their own share of FAFO season, and that is why right now most of them are running like headless chicken, So my point, bringing back to what we were talking about, Black Americans just don't trust white America, most of them anyway, because they do feel like, as we thought that people, at least a big number of Americans were going into the voting booths like united front, right? Only for the results to come out completely different from what FYP was talking about, And then right now, Black Americans are very valid in saying they don't trust these people because if they were left holding the sword when the battle came, when the election time came, what is to say right now? You can't go into, as I often say, a battle holding a sword and you don't trust the person next to you and you don't trust the person behind you, because any minute you close your eyes, they will get one in your body.
Right, guys. And I feel like they are very, very valid and they're still communicating the same language. And that is Black Americans. Let's stay out of this. And if it only took 1 week for for this man who
To
was preaching
crumble.
unity, for him to really come out and show his true face. One thing you have to understand, guys, is that when you're calling for unity, it's not like you shouldn't be quick to anger, because remember, these are people, they're all people from different backgrounds with different
Giving you
experiences.
suggestions.
Exactly. And for you to bring all these people together, and even to a point where you're gonna make them work together, it's not going to be an easy task, and that is something you expect that someone who takes it like a leader, takes it up like a leader, should be able to understand. So for you to get angry, and also for people to join your cause, you have to not only convince them, but you also have to give them time. As you convince them, give them time and tell them reasons why they should join you. It's not a one-day job, it's not a two-day job, it's not a 48-hour job, you know.
And I do feel like of all the groups he was inviting to participate in his thing, I feel like if Black Americans seem the most angriest, they're very valid, because for you to have a revolution, what are you working towards changing?
And what what are you willing to do right, and what are you also willing to lose, you know?
Right, because you have come to the table, you've told everybody, right, this is why I want us to build this purple revolution to make the government work for us. And then Black Americans are here on the other side, they're telling you, for us to join this, if at all we will, which we won't, is also our demands need to be met. Like, for example, changing the very systemic racism. Why don't we start by talking from there? And you go on and just crumble the whole movement because whatever they've said about changing the systemic racism didn't agree with your agenda, meaning you want to use their bodies to protect yourself, and yet you're not ready to fight for including what they want as well.
Right, and that goes back to the question of what are you willing to lose, because I feel like going in already, Black Americans, being that they've been burnt a lot of times, they already know what they're standing to lose in case these things happen. I mean, look at, okay, I don't want to bring Latinos in this because they deserve do they deserve arrest? They've eaten their own share of FAFO, you know. But look at what happened during the protest in LA, you know. It was all Latinos doing whatever they had to do to make sure that their voices were heard. And even at that, Black people still found a way. They found a way to bring Black people into the protest that they never even attended, you know. So what are you gaining? I mean, what do you stand to lose? Do you already know? And are you willing to lose it? Like, for example, the privilege you talk about that you say you don't know.
Right. And if you're not willing to lose any of these things, like the systemic privilege that has protected you, why don't you go out into the street yourself, by yourself, and stop trying to include Black Americans into the very nature you want to avoid, you know?
Actually, and also, somebody said it quite clearly. You know, the people you need to be talking to are your own people. They will hear you better.
Right. And you know exactly what you are fighting for as a white person and what you want to get better. And you know deep down your heart, some of it might not include the betterment of other people like Black or people of color.
Right.
So guys, let us know what you think about this episode, right?
And also before you finish, a question for our audience. This purple revolution, I know I don't need to ask, but what do you think of it? Would you have joined it if it was brought in front of your doorstep and they gave you the idea and they told you this is what it's about? Will you join?
I do feel like ultimately, yes, Americans in general need to work together to make their government work for the people, but 100%. It is things like this really that make people distrustful, because how can Black America trust white America if white America keeps doing things like this? You don't flip-flopping, right? You know, you don't show Black Americans that they can trust you when you enter the battlefield together.
Right.
All you've made them see is the constant betrayal, and you working for your own self-interest without regarding theirs. And when they join you, they work for everybody's self-interest, not only their own, you know.
So I feel like it's quite easy to understand Black Americans, because the loudest message they're communicating is the moment such people who stand up to call for like the purple revolution, the moment you stand up and call for it, ensure you have have the interest of Black people as a collective, their interest as a community at heart, and it
so that you can give them a reason as to why they should also join you in a fight for the national cake.
Right, because an interest that can be represented for all Black people in the Black community might be able to solve a lot of things for them as individuals also, you know. But guys, let us know what you think about this episode on the comment section. Also, consider subscribing if it's your first time here. Please don't leave without, right? As usual, we want to thank you so much for joining us on our channel, right?
Yeah, we'll see you on our next episode.